straight back on the power, uphill for the Variante Alta.
I love being talked through these onboards. I think this makes it so much better because they're actually explaining why certain corners are the way they are or sort of how they're organized. What is going on, guys? It is JJ here, back with a new video, and today we're going to take a look at everything I need to know about the Imola Circuit in a nutshell. I think this is going to be a video mainly to just go over the basic points of Imola, of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, also to see the circuit guide. So this is maybe a more in-depth, more elongated version of trying to understand the corners. We've taken a look at the history of the track, sort of understand where the trouble spots are, and as well, the next video that we're doing today will be about the sprint race, because I had no clue what an F1 sprint race is, and I didn't realize that it actually counted towards point totals. So gonna learn about that. Gonna learn about the F1 Imola Circuit, maybe get a circuit guide, and then we're gonna get ready for this weekend. It's gonna be an amazing weekend of racing, Friday and Saturday, and I believe Sunday as well. So there's things to do for all of those days. Let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments below on this weekend's racing. So let's get to the video. As well, guys, you can find the original video down in the description below.
For the first time, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix features on the Formula One calendar, but the venue is a familiar name in F1 history, the Imola Circuit. Officially, the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Dino Ferrari. Yeah, if you fancy running out of breath. Was last on F1's books in 2006 before it was quietly dropped for the following year. Here's your guide to F1's return to the Italian circuit.
But they've been there the last 3 years, right? This is 2020 out of 2020. Oh, this must be an older video then. Let's go. Let me make sure. Yeah, 2020. Okay, that makes total sense. Because I was like, they've done 2 races here in the last 2 years. I was like, what do you mean? But okay, we're back.
Imola was built in 1953 and used for a few non-championship races, but it didn't appear on the F1 calendar officially until 1980, when it hosted the Italian Grand Prix, the only time that the Grand Prix wasn't hosted at Monza. Since then, Imola remained on the calendar as the San Marino Grand Prix, borrowing the name from the landlocked principality over an hour's drive away. However, the name has not returned with the circuit, and the Emilia-Romagna title refers to the region of Italy that the Imola Circuit sits within. At least it's a little bit closer. Over the years, Imola has undergone a few changes, with chicanes sprouting and disappearing seemingly at will, but the tight and technical overall layout has remained pretty familiar. Today, the circuit is 4.909 kilometers, or 3.05 miles in length, with 21 officially listed corners, although Formula One has taken a somewhat loose interpretation of what a corner entails. Nelson Piquet won F1's first championship race at Imola in 1980, drafted onto the calendar as Monza was being refurbished. San Marino then applied for a race on Imola's behalf to remain on the calendar, and Piquet followed up his win at the circuit with a repeat victory in '81. Having taken the late-season Italian GP slot for its first race, Imola was moved to early May for 1981 and would usually be the first European round in the following seasons.
I was going to say, yeah, this is the first European race too. And also, I think it's supposed to be raining in Imola as well this year, so that's going to be a very, very sort of interesting race, to say the least. I mean, the 2022 cars, I think, were meant to be better in the corners, for better overtaking in races, I feel like these. So like a whole predictions for it, like it's impossible to actually think about and try and predict because you don't know what's going to happen to the rest of the leaders in the front could simply crash on their own like Mika Häkkinen did. Like anything could happen on this race.
The Tamburello corner, the flat-out sweeping left-hander that started the lap, was particularly fierce. Piquet crashed heavily at the corner in '87 during practice thanks to a tyre failure, and he had to miss the race. Gerhard Berger infamously crashed there amid a blaze of fire in 1989 as his front wing failed on the run into Tamburello, and miraculously only missed one race as the marshals extricated him from his burning Ferrari. And of course, in 1994, Ayrton Senna lost his life at Tamburello in perhaps F1's darkest weekend, in which Rubens Barrichello was hospitalized on the Friday in a crash at the Variante Bassa, and Roland Ratzenberger was killed on a Saturday morning after a front wing failure at the Villeneuve corner. Well, since then, Tamburello was changed to a lower speed chicane to make it far safer, as was the following Villeneuve corner. Damon Hill took an emotional...
So we shouldn't have to worry about any of the crashing at the infamous corners, essentially. They've made the course a bit more safe, they made it a bit more modernized, I think is what the word is for that. But it's actually kind of, it's very smart. That's very nice to hear too.
1995 race for Williams, with whom Senna had driven the previous year. Williams was a force to be reckoned with at Imola in mid-1990s. Hill won again in 1996, and his replacement, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, took his first ever win in 1997. But from 1999 onwards, it was a Schumacher circuit. Michael secured 2 victories for Ferrari before his brother Ralph took Williams' first win for 4 years. In the 2001 Grand Prix, the team's first with BMW power. Michael won the next 3 Imola races, and although the 2005 Ferrari wasn't a factor in the title hunt, he pushed Fernando Alonso all the way to the finish in a thrilling race between the two. A physical changing of the guard moment in F1's history. Schumacher won Imola's last race in F1 before it came off the calendar for refurbishment at the end of 2006, and although the circuit's owners have eyed up a return, Imola wasn't in the running, at least until 2020 happened, and the calendar became far more improvisational.
Yeah,
only
that's
Kimi
fair.
Raikkonen has
fair.
raced around Imola in an F1 car, but both AlphaTauri drivers Pierre Gasly and Daniel Kvyat tested there earlier this season. Given the circuit is about 10 minutes down the road.
And then didn't Pierre Gasly end up winning this course? No, I'm thinking Monza 2020. I'm thinking of Monza 2020. Yep, that's... Maybe we gotta watch the 2020 Imola race as well before we get into the weekend. I need to watch the sprint races. I need to figure out how the sprint race is gonna work.
From the team's Faenza base. Lewis Hamilton raced at Imola in 2006 in his GP2 title year, and several drivers have experience of the circuit from its sporadic appearances on the F3 calendar, including Max Verstappen, Esteban Ocon, Lance Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi, George Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Lando Norris has experience of Imola from his Italian F4 races, while for others the addition of Imola will be an entirely new experience. The lap begins with a relatively short run to turn 1, Tamburello, for the left-right-left chicane that should bunch the cars up before getting on the power towards the Villeneuve corner. This should give the drivers a chance to capitalise on any side-by-side action emerging from the first corner, before then dropping the speed for the left-right Villeneuve corner. There's grass and gravel either side here, so, much like Mugello, any mistakes here will be punished immediately. Tosa, a tight uphill left-hander, is next, and the drivers will be climbing over each other in lap 1 to make up positions. So expect to see a few drivers get hung out to dry on the outside of the corner. Then it's a little more uphill as you veer right as the circuit flows towards the left-handed Piratella before the track drops down to Acque Minerale, a double right-hander that sits in a little dip. There's a small camber that allows the driver to take a little speed through it, and then it's straight back on the power, uphill for the Variante Alta.
I love being talked through these onboards. I think this makes it so much better because they're actually explaining why certain corners are the way they are, or sort of how they're organized and what drivers need to do on them to essentially capitalize what should be happening in these corners. Like he's going through every detail, and I love that.
A short, sharp, right-left chicane that precedes a steady descent towards Rivazza. Hopefully the drivers will be able to grab a slipstream here and then mount an assault into Rivazza's double left.
Dude, the course is gorgeous, actually.
The second corner then opens out into the final blast of the line. And unlike the past versions of Imola, there's no chicanes, so the run should be flat on the exit. With a high downforce package, the cars should be topping out on the accelerator just before they get
So this is where Red Bull are going to make up their time, probably.
DRS run, this can open the circuit up during the race to some overtaking. The tight and technical middle part of the lap may be hard to follow on, but being able to stick close to the car ahead can yield rewards on the flat-out
Well, I was going to
sections.
say, where are the DRS zones
Surrounding the circuit is the town of Imola itself and a series of greenery and foliage, something that you just don't get at a modern F1 circuit. Imola is a real old-school circuit, and it'll be interesting to see how it copes with modern F1.
I thoroughly enjoyed this video, you know, they absolutely killed it. It was interesting. They actually went in depth and into detail. pretty much through the history of Imola and why certain things happened the way they did, what cars would succeed here. I'm trying to think, because Verstappen won the 2021 edition with Lewis Hamilton close behind him. I don't know who won 2020. Don't spoil it for me in the comments. We're probably going to watch it. We're also going to watch an onboard, I think, for Imola as well before we get into it. And then watch a sprint race so I can just be ready for what the hell is going to happen. So definitely, if you're not already subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Take a look at me looking at a sprint race for the first time. It's going to be very interesting. And yeah, I can't wait for Imola this weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend. I like that they said it's old school. I like that they said it's old school. F1 could do with some old school right now. It really could. After all of the sort of weird first 3 races that we've had, it could do with some old school. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And peace.